Good morning. We are going to start on our backs in supine Baddha Konasana. So we're going to bring the soles of the feet together comfortably apart. Don't bring the heels too close to the groin. And we're just going to come down, just slowly placing the rest of the body down, the upper back and the back of the head, bringing the soles of the feet, as I said, together, and just trying to find some space through the groins and the inner leg, the adductors on both sides. And if you need a little support, put a pillow beneath the thighs if it's feeling a bit straining. Otherwise, just straighten your legs out completely if you're not enjoying the shape. If you're just joining, come down on your back, bring the palms face down, the lower belly, just between the hip points, close the eyes for a moment and let the backs of the arms rest on the ground. And just simply tune in. Turn inwards. And just feel, observe the breath. Let's not manipulate it. Let's not deepen it. Just let it be natural. It's ebb and flow. And just create this little pocket for 60 minutes to yoke. Okay. Just go up to the eyes now and notice the eyes themselves are sort of downcast beneath the lids. And so we can just open the lid slowly. You may have a very bright room, so just let the brightness or lightness slowly come in. And we'll just take the hands from where they're resting and close these legs up. Find the soles of the feet on the mat. Just bring them at hip distance apart, okay? Now, I just thought it'd be nice to warm up and bring some ease into this hip area, lower back. It's always nice in the morning and it doesn't take, you don't warm up for it. It is kind of well, you'll feel it's a warm up, a tune in up down here. So we're going to start by just notice now that the lower back is away in your natural curve. It's not pressed into the mat, okay? And then we're just going to lift the right hip from the mat and just make sure the right shoulder is released down into the mat, the upper back, okay? So don't let it peel up and just stay here for a moment with this lifted right hip from the mat. So your right buttocks from the mat, just breathe here. And then put it down. Take a pause. Oh, both arms are facing down. And we'll go the other side. Lift the left hip up, arc it sort of towards the inside of the right knee, give or take. Feel the left of the buttocks away from the floor and just release upper back, both sides into the ground. Good. Let's do that a little bit more quickly. Plant it down. We'll take this pause. We'll bring the right hip up, press the feet down and bring it down. And then the left and down and the right and down, the left on an angle. Just lifting one more, right on an angle and left. You know, as high as feels good. Now, I want you to really think of your tailbone, your sacrum, this triangular shape. And, you know, it's wider at the top and pointier at the bottom. So just visualize or sense that you're taking that tailbone and you're sort of peeling it up to stare at the space in front of you. So the pointy bit is looking into the floor. You're getting quite a bit of an arch in your lower back. You know, you've got it when you feel that resonating in your lower back. Just stay up here, breathing, noting the space in the front of the body, but not too much. I don't want you to feel like you've unzipped completely and you're falling outwards. Just keep it a lift here. Good. And then do the opposite. Squeeze the sternum and the belly, everything into the mat. So you get a long back, right? And the lower back is flush into the mat. Squeeze. And again here, always revisit the upper back because that's what in this little sequence, that's what might kind of peel up and cause some tension. Squeeze down, breathing while you squeeze. Just breathe normally. And then we're squeeze, and then we're going to release it to the neutral shape. So neither arched or pressed and neither lifted on the other side. Get used to that shape. Good. Okay. Now let's do it. And imagine circling So fantastic for your hips. So bring your right hip up. Okay, that's it. Press the pubic or the tailbone down to your arch. Lift the left hip up. Squeeze the back into the floor. Release the back neutral. Lift the right hip. It might get a while to get used to this because you're drawing a circle basically with the pelvis. Arch, lift the left, and finish by squeezing into the mat. One more of those. Right, lift, over, press the back in, and pause. That's just 3 on the other side. So lift the left. Okay. Over, lift the right, squeeze the back. Again, up. Big old arch lower back, right hip lifts, and then squeeze. And one more of those. Lift. And over one side might be easier than the other. Over. And then just come to neutral for a moment. And we're going to finish by bringing the legs in. Just let the calves press against the hamstrings for a moment and the ankles nice and relaxed and soft. Just dangle there for a moment and then slowly, without putting the arms around, squeeze the back into the floor. Bring the thighs towards the ribs. And let's bring the head up towards the knees. Lift the arms and turn both in to look at the hips and really reach them towards the front of your space. Slowly stress the ankles. So activate them, toes look to the ceiling, and grab hold of the ankles or the feet if you can reach them. Make yourself into a tiny little ball, even more. Reach up the back of the neck. Reach up. And then release completely, but slowly onto the mat. And we'll just come to our side, whatever feels comfortable, and up to sitting for a moment. Just feel, if you feel a little more warmth radiating from this area, nice. We'll take the hands, bring them behind the back, and take hold of the opposite elbow, somewhat like this. And you'll have it, because it might be a bit much for the front of the shoulders, this is what might happen. So we just want to counteract that by keeping the chest lifted. Press the arms into the back, wherever they are, and bring the left ear to the left shoulder. Bring the chin down towards the spine, slowly. And then right ear to right shoulder, stretching out the left side of the neck. Now opposite, go back down, chin to chest, and over. Come back up. Release the hands slowly. Keep the chest lifted and nice and buoyant here. We'll take the left arm under the right and spiral the palms together. If the palms don't meet, just put the backs of the hands. Bring the elbows about shoulder height, okay? And just have a moment to really increase, open the upper back, primarily the sides of the shoulders. Just sit here with these vined eagle arms. If you want the micro movements as you breathe, is sort of inhale, elbows lift, because they'll have a tendency to sink up, and the hands away from the face. Just kind of do that as you breathe, sort of up and away from the face. Just soak that up. And then we're just going to straighten the right arm, turn the left one in, squeeze that straightened arm across the upper chest first and wait for the response in the back of the shoulder. And then I think it feels fantastic. But start to take this. It's a gentle but a twist, which is less about the waist and more about this shoulder. How does that feel? If you lift that right arm, pull it in a little bit, really get the benefits, and try to keep nice and even on the waist. And then come back without letting go. Just soften it and then let go. And notice how it feels. I hope different. Right arm under left, squeeze it, vine them, and don't expect them to be the same. We're not made equally on either side. So we're going to have to accommodate and be creative, authentic, and honor your uniqueness, right? So we're all just on this together. So let's try just to fill in the shapes. If you ever find your breath kind of getting away from you or feeling agitated, it's a sure message. It's a sure sign to take a step back, take a pause, observe, and just take it easy for a moment. Usually it's a sign to step back. Okay, let's straighten the left arm and The right arm is still holding it in. We're just bringing it across the upper chest and see if we can release the shoulder caps away from creeping up to the neck. So you feel quite wide. The widest part you want to feel is across the shoulders, less about the hips. Okay. And then slowly take the twist, offering the shoulder towards that spine, the midline, and opening it towards the front of your space. Stay nice and tall in the waist. And just breathe here. I love this one. And again, notice that we don't let go when we're in the depth of it. Let go, control to bring it back. And then you know that we can undo without any snapping business. Bring the hands down for a moment. Take a pause. So just feel. Have we moved maybe the energy and the primary sensing from the hips to the upper back, behind the shoulders, on the side of the shoulders? It might be more subtle. Okay, now we're going to come to kneeling, bring the legs together, and just offer the heels inwards for a moment. And then we're going to put our weight to open up the front of the shins. They may or may not like this. And the weight of our body, crown through shoulders and hips right onto these feet. Just take a moment to sit there, encourage the opening. Just really have a sense that the bones in the feet are releasing away, softly away. And then come to stand on those shins, arms down by the sides facing in, and big broad shoulder caps. On an inhale, reach down and out to the sides of your space to shoulder height. Exhale, turn everything, peel the body into the spine. Bring the hands down and palms will face up. Find the lower back exposed. Inhale, reverse it up and take flight. Just take the arms up. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, keep them engaged to the spine and just lower the arms. Keep the shoulder blades engaged here. Inhaling up, take up space. Exhale to the soft side. So close it up, bow to yourself, take the fingers to look to the back of the space. Inhale, press the feet down and feel this opening through the hip flexors, spreading through the arms, taking up space, and then bringing them back down. Collarbones release from their grip on the spine. Inhaling, last one, up. Really get big. Exhale, softly round the spine, offer the crown to the floor. Inhaling up. Big, big, big. Exhale, the arms down. Take the left leg out to the side and keep the toes looking forward. We're going to do gate leg. So the left arm is on that leg and the right one comes up, feeling like it's really rooted, not in the shoulder, not even in the hip, right down past that crust of the earth, right down to the core, okay, through this leg. That's its channel. And then slowly, so left side has to soften so the right side can lengthen, complementary. And then we come to a space that we start the refining, where we're not moving deeper, releasing, we're just really soaking up the richness of whatever shape we've created. I want you to feel like you could breathe in, light up all of the shape, not just maybe your shoulder. If you feel pinched, find a way that we don't. That's part of the journey. And then come up. We're going into a balance. Arm comes to face the ground, comes out to the right side. That's sort of, you have to find that for yourself. Sorry, right arm beneath the shoulder. Don't worry about, moving around. Come to the ball of the left foot. You see, you can't stay on the ground. You come to the ball. Put the left hand on the hip and just encourage this left hip point to peel up. It's not going to enjoy that. And then lift the left leg. And let's stay and play for a little bit here. Now you take the left hand, if it was still on the hip, bring it to the ribs. Fingers on the inside at your sternum. That's it. Elbow up. Now, one of your breath cycles on the inhale, gently peel it open. You might have seen me take it a little bit bigger and deeper. See if it can stay there with the strength of your side as we extend that arm up and balance through all these points. And feel it's kind of odd because we have very little rooting us. It's a very odd shin and palm. Let's take the top arm down, bring it back to the ribs, palm in. Feel that the ribs stay as they are as we just bring that leg down. See if you can come up, feel the ribs, they didn't move. If they did, oh well. But the idea is to try to keep this nice and stable. Bring that leg in. Whew. Take a moment. We're going to go to the other side. So right leg out, full footed and full length on the inside of the leg. So that means left hip kind of rises and we want the right hip to sink because this is what it's going to want to do to avoid the space that we'd like to create. Left side of the body extends. And then we always have our own cue, right? We're all practicing together, but you're still going to move at a different time and a different pace and to a different extent. All these these side bendings are really great in the morning. I mean, wouldn't do tons at night. Like back bends, wouldn't do those at night. Come up, find the match with the left hand, enough where you can come to the ball, the right foot. Open up the hip and put that right hand on the hip, just being mindful of the space that we're creating from the pubic bone out to either side, as opposed to the either side in. Okay, it's the opposite. Okay. Feel it open. Stretch and engage the core at the waist, that part of the core. Lift the leg. Put that right hand, the ribs, elbow up, fingers in at the sternum, give or take. And actively, so external leverage, peel that open and then allow ourselves to maintain the openness. So we're using structure, so upper back and arm and upper chest strength, and then we stop that and keep the revolution opening and stack the arm up. And you see, I just thought, oh, my neck was not feeling it was in line. Bring that top hand down, create all that space to try to keep it moving open, even though we're taking the leg down. Come up, talk about hip, and bring that in, that leg in. Soften down onto the heels. Find the mat behind, fingertips looking towards the feet and the hands beneath the shoulders. Take a moment here. And then we're going to open our hip flexors, which is right here, the front of our hips, by lifting them away from the heels. Reach down the thighs for a moment and gaze still, look down your spine. And then maybe start to open the other energy centers. So through the throat by lengthening a little bit and softly bring the neck in that arch. Nothing harsh, no dangling of the neck from the spine. And then bring the bottom down. And bring the hands forward and find your table. So the hands are wide, palms are receptive, knees are underneath the hips, and the shins are back in line with each other, parallel. Take both feet under, give them a little bit of a workout, plug the belly up. So really engage this at sternum, move navel to pubic bone up and lift your knees. Let's visit our chest. I'd like you to feel it's moving. If it was going to move, it's going to move forward, buoyant and broad. Collarbones are nicely placed. Now bring the knees down, keep the belly pulled up. So tap the ground with the knees and then lift up. 2 more of those. Tap down, up. It's a tiny movement. Down and up. Let's do 2 more. Down and up. And down and up. Stay up. Take the left leg straight out from the hip, spread the toes. So now we're on 2 palms and the ball of the right foot. Okay, let the shaking happen. Let the heat, really heat, radiating everywhere. Bring that leg back. Find the mat with the ball and take the right one out. Spread the toes, fire up the thighs, engage the front of the body so it's not sinking towards the ground, and these strong shoulders. And bring it back. Bring the knees down. Release out of those ankles by flipping the feet and just send the hips back without moving the hands. Don't go too far. Just gaze at the space between the thumbs. Give the wrists a little bit of a rest because we're going to need them. Okay, back up. Just look down at the pinky toes big toes aren't looking at each other. You've got nice long inner feet. Okay, so slightly drift forward and you'll feel some sensation on the, the upper back of your wrists, not the inside. Move back. Don't go past that, okay? Just a little bit of a teaser forward and back. So you know that this is the plane we're moving on, and you feel connected from pubic bone to navel to sternum to throat to nose to forehead to crown. All that is pulled up and engaged. And then on one of your drifts forward, begin to move through the upper chest and just drive it forward towards the ground, bending at the elbows and maybe coming towards the ground in a sort of a press. Maybe it's just millimeters or it's just the intention, and then up and back. It's really important to get that forward movement and then keep the chest moving forward, not the chin, and bend at the elbows and press down, up and back. One more of those. So when you're learning and trying to work with chaturangas and stuff, these are great little exercise practices to do to get more comfortable with this sort of power that's upper chest and back. It's not just shoulders. Let's turn the toes under, stretch them one more time through, bottom to heels, and this time do move the hands. So stretch them forward, whatever you can, while keeping the hips anchored to the heels. Stretch these arms forward. Find the mat with both palms. Just, just play around and look at the space between the thumbs. And at some point, begin to bring the ears down between the arms, maybe, and just notice what's happening in the underarms. How the breath has to move. Where does it move now, since we're in this trifold stretch? Keep the mat strong underneath those hands, okay? And we're going to bring the shoulders up over, and now flip the knees and we'll be perfectly for plank. Again, just wait a moment for the backs of the legs to respond and to loosen, to lengthen. The front of the legs have to support that, which means they're strong. Okay, something always has to be strong for something to release, for something to soften. Let's bend the knees ever so slightly so you'll feel that tension in the legs soften, and then push up and back into your downward dog, the hinge. First, really focus on the ground beneath the hands and the feet. Feel equally rooted, and then start to channel. Whether you start at the arms, press them away, feel wide through the upper back, connected through the front and the back of the chest. Feel the same in the legs, slightly kicking the heels out. Feel the hips broaden. So many lines of energy, long ones going from the ground up to the fulcrum and back down to the ground and up from the legs. So it's constantly moving, feeding and receiving, giving and receiving. And then we've got the other lines that are going from the spine on either side outward. Think of that, all the way down to the floor. So it's not just skinny, it's wide. Okay, let's come back to high plank. Whew. Bring the knees down and press back. So 3 more of those. Inhaling to plank, just smooth. It doesn't have to be your biggest one. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale down. Another one here, full one. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward dog. Full footed. Inhale, plank. Chests nice and broad. Exhale back. Last one. Inhale, plank. Just get all the cobwebs out. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale down. Good. Look up at the space between the thumbs. Shift the shoulders up and forward. Plant the forearms down on the mat. Take a moment. Okay, now turn both arms so that the palms face in, but the fingers have space between them, so they're not stuck like this. Really get that knife edge right to the pinky side finger. Pull the sternum up, engage the navel in so you feel nice and supported there. Gaze down, so don't look side or left or right. And just start to walk the legs back. Once you feel stretched down the bottom half, refine the top. So really go visit the dome of the ribs. Do you feel it's more domey or it's all saggy and too much in the front? Find a place that you can even out the dome of the ribs, whatever. Excuse me. Back of the neck is long. Resisting that urge to yield here until now. Bring the knees down, hips down, release the feet. Take the hands beneath the shoulders and offer the forehead at the hairline down, just getting a little bit of length in the back of the neck. Let's just go drift down to where the legs enter the hips. So the leg creases in the front of the body. Like that is where we want to feel opening and pressing down and moving away and creating space. So we gently come up, elbows in. Just work the back bend as you breathe. Up and back. Find downward dog. Take the right leg up and 3-point downward dog, or you can adjust by coming to your left shin and then just putting it up. We're bringing it to the right hand. And just find the footing through the left foot and the full right foot, and just bring the fingertips from the mat. So they're not holding the mat anymore. We're suspended, or like I'm about to fall over. Now, let's just take our hands and bring them to our shoulder caps and just ease the shoulders away and get a sense of how that feels so we can recreate it on our own, right? And then let's just bring the arms down the body and come up a little bit higher, finding a deep arrow lunge. And feel the action now in the upper back as the shoulder blades are sliding as we breathe down away from our neck. So it should make you feel stronger. That's it. Press through that right heel. The arms are bending and come past the ears as we stretch up. Straight leg, straight armed, neutral hips, balance. Keep the gaze soft. Good. Palms together above the crown. Feel what the shoulders, or sense what the shoulders feel like. Bring the hands down shoulder height. Now focus a little bit more on drawing the shoulder blades together instead of down. So together first and then down. And then let's bend that right leg. And feel the space in the left side of the body all the way running down that leg crease into the ground and back up. Separate the hands, find the mat with both hands for a moment. And then put the right hand to the inside of the right foot and just heel toe. That means, lift the heel, or you don't, toes first, heel toe, until you put your right foot to the edge of your mat. Put your right hand now closer to the right foot. And lower the left knee. Release that left foot. And so, see, I just pressed on my left foot and took my knee from the mat because it was getting, the skin or my pants were getting pulled. So let's just do that. Don't freeze into a shape that's uncomfortable. Let's focus for a breath or two on really creating an evenly placed right foot, okay? It will have a tendency to fall to the pinky side. So we need to be more present in keeping the energy flowing down the inside of that right foot as well as the outside. Press that heel down, pull the belly up, lift the chest, find those little points of refinement. You can always go on the forearms if you need more depth, right? I don't think I do. Okay, toes under of that back foot and lift the knee. So this is a big ask because we're going to fly that right leg up to a 3-point downward dog from that outside of the mat. Up, up, up and away. Don't rush it. Place that right leg down and lift the left leg up. Again, I should have said it really helps to lift the standing leg's heel because you just get even 2 inches will help as we sweep the left leg forward. Establish the root, draw the left hip in, press the feet down and just come away from the floor and start to elongate the posture through this neutral spine, nice comfortable waist. That's it, yeah. Okay. Arms are going to bend. Palms past the ears as we stamp that left foot, straighten the legs, arms come up and straighten out. Balance, stretch, I can't look at you. Palms together. Really feel the upper chest in the front and back. It's not moving. Try to just move these in the shoulder girdle themselves. Bend this left leg. Be patient. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm softening my back leg a little bit because I don't want I'm quite long. So I'm adjusting the length that it's a bit long for me today. So I'm just adjusting by softening my knee a little bit. If I was shorter, I'd have a straighter leg, but this feels better. Okay, find the mat. Okay, and then on the inside of that foot, and then heel toe that foot right to the edge of the mat, which point you can move the left hand back. So you have left foot, left hand, right hand. Set it up, don't rush. Bring the right knee down, release, and then so just try what I do. So it's down now, press into the top of that foot and lift the knee and then put it back down. Especially if you're wearing pants. Good. Now let's draw the focus to the foot, the left foot this time. Feel the pressure. Where is it? Is it stronger in one spot? Can we even it out? Can we bring a little more energy to the ankle joint? Stability, presence. And again, you can go down to the forearms or a block if you want. In this form of lizard. Well, this is actually a wonderful little opportunity. Let's just quickly take the gaze down. So don't do it proprioceptively. Look at your eyes of your elbows, the insides of your elbows. If they are looking straight forward at the front of your space or the front of your mat, you're overdoing that joint. I'm pretty sure. So to avoid that, just turn both of the eyes slightly inward. So if they had laser beams, they wouldn't laser parallel, they would actually meet one another. Just try that. It should feel better on your joint. Okay, toe under the back foot, lift, and fly that left leg back up and down. Bend the knees quite generously. Now just lift the right hip a little bit, sink the left hip. Keep the arms as they are and just do the opposite side. Maybe make it more fluid. Left, right, left, right. Ease it out. Good. And then let's take little steps to the hands. So little tiny steps. Just feel what the spine has to do to accommodate with the belly. Little steps. There might be a spot you can't hold on to the floor. That's fine. If you can, stay there. Bring them up and take a really tiny squat. And then take it into a ragdoll. So straighten the legs ever so slightly. Dangle. Let the dangling spine happen. Create your own. If you like it a little higher where you can sort of bob and weave in it, do that. But then let's bring the hands now to the ankles or slightly above the ankles. And draw the focus to the front of the body, under the chin to the pubic bone. How does it feel? Mine feels shortened and slightly slack. So let's start at the shoulders. Peel them away from the neck and bring the shoulder blades down the back. Automatically feels nice and strong. Now let's do the bottom half. Draw the belly in, support the spine, lift up, and create tinny. And then let go. Come up to half stand slowly. Utkatasana with the arms out front and shoulder width apart. Bring the palms together. Drift them into the chest. When they're there, lift both heels. Sink the hips. That's it. Find the mat with both feet. Press down thoroughly and away with your legs. And just separate the hands, come to stand, and the arms come by the side. Excuse me, and we'll just take a moment here, standing. Closing your eyes, take a hand to the chest, another one, hand over that, and then bring the chin down softly. Feel it resonate beneath the shoulder blades, the ground, and then just sway ever so slightly, maybe forward and back, or draw circles with the soles of the feet into the ground, switching direction. It's just really fostering this idea, this sense of grounded fluidity, right? We're not jagged edged, we're just always adapting, responsive, resilient, strong. And then find your stillness where you feel both heels full, the balls of the feet, the toes. Stay down there in the feet for a moment longer. We don't spend time down there enough. Okay, lift the head, bring the hands down. Try to recreate that foundation, or just visit when you're doing something, waiting for the bus, doing the dishes, brushing your teeth. Just take a moment to go down and feel your feet. Love your feet. Okay, from here, we're going to step back with the right foot. Turn the toes out, take, excuse me, and take the toes in of the left and out of the right. So we'll be facing the back of the mat with a nice long stance, so warrior stance. Open the arms this time, open them away and up. Keep the gaze over the spine, over the heart line, and just feel the thumb and the first finger come together in that raindrop shape, automatically energizing the arms, the forearms, elbows down to the waist. So now we've got focus on the forearms, the collarbones, and then move to that inside of your left hip. Your groin on that left side, just come down. I'm a little bit short there. And then try to recreate that full-footedness we had in Tadasana here. Let go of the mudra and slowly sweep the arms up. Just go to the mouth and just soften. So not touching the chewing surfaces of the teeth here. Okay. Bring the palms together, interlace the fingers, and take the first index fingers to look to the sky. Once you feel that, you can soften the elbows a bit if it's straining, or don't do it. Straighten that right leg and start to open the right side of the body. Come back, close off the right side, lengthen the left. Let go of that strong mudra. Turn the arms, bring them down, push down and out. Pick the toes of the left foot up, or the right foot up. Toes of the left foot out. Open these arms. Keep the gaze over the spine. Thumb and first finger. Shoulder blades connected to the spine, or towards the spine anyway. Elbows down. And really use this space, this moment, these breath cycles to get familiar with what it feels like to have a nice, broad, lifted chest. Because doing this will really help foster the ability to familiarize when we're nice and open, we're all sunk because you can't. So we can recreate it again. Let go, bring the hands up. Use this kind of a posture to really boost your feeling of strength, empowerment. These are big. This is big. Bind the hands. This is a very strong mudra right here, but I softened it with the back bend. So, oops, straight. Back. Yes. I can't remember if I did. Come up. Release the hands back down all the way to the hips. Bring the toes of the left foot in. Pigeon-toed for a moment and just open the palms in. Instead of holding onto the hips, just bring them slightly to the leg creases and drop the elbows. Let them ease towards the waist as they want to do. And we're just going to fold towards the floor. Think of half standing forward, fold like when we have our legs together, but our legs are apart. And then keep the hands where they are. Draw the elbows a little closer to the waist and go a little past half until you get some quite strong feedback in the legs. You feel this loosening of the grip around the top of each leg, the femur. We don't have to go into full forward fold. And then just float back to half, bend at the knees and find the mat. We should be able to find the mat. I'm hoping you can find the mat. Take these legs, turn the feet out. And you can adjust that. Start to float over towards the right. But try to keep both feet rooted on the ground. So I just lost my. And just be sensitive about where your hips and your bottom are. Try not to let them drop towards the floor below your knee. It's too straining. Try to keep long through that left leg. And then let's switch sides. Walk the hands over to the other side. Stretch down the right leg. Keep the left foot rooted. And now plug the front of the body up. Support it. We're going to come back to center. And just try this. It may not work and it might be too straining. So stop it and bring the hands down. But I just, try. Maybe you like it. With the hand supporting us for a moment, visit the feet, both of them at the same time, and press them down and away. And you'll feel some light up into your hips, probably anything more power. Then let's visit and make sure that we're engaged in the front of the body, supporting the organs in the spine. And then with that, we're going to take the arms from the mat parallel to the ground. Notice if there's strain in the neck. Notice. If you're okay, then you can just slowly bend that right leg and stretch the left leg out. But remember, if you're feeling straining, bring it back down to the mat and go over the other side. Long in the body and strong. One more over to the right, over to the left. Bring the hands down as you come to center. I'm going to bring my legs in a little bit. I suggest you do too. It makes it easier. And we're just going to one hand at a time anyway to support us coming into a shape of goddess. Bring the hands palms in. And this is where you can, deepen it however you want. Just making sure that you don't feel the knees collapsing in. If you do, it's just showing that the hips, you're taking it too far. So you need to rise up in the pose and you need to shorten your legs in the pose. So that you can it's more important to get this lovely alignment and opening so all the goodness can flow through instead of pinching areas and going too deeply inappropriately. So just shifting, I'm just going to shift my weight back and forth, feeling that. And then it's so much fun, both heels up, and both hands up, elbows bend, shoulder height, sink. Try to stack over the hip instead of leaning forward. I know it's hard. Bring the feet down, come to stand, lift the toes of the right foot and turn them in. Do the same, lift the toes of the left and turn them out. Heel of the right foot in. I'm just going very slowly and then we step out. Nice. Okay, those are big. So I've chosen, we're just going to do a little, it's not a little tree, but tree. And we'll start on the right foot. You can bring that left foot anywhere, but not the inside of the knee where it feels like it would be the best spot. Go against the wall if you want, hold a chair. Let's try to keep the focus not only on that tethering to the ground while we breathe in this balance and really bring ourselves and our energies back in like this. I'd like you to, on a bodily note, notice this right hip. If it starts to sink in it and drop our waist into the body, just reclaim the straight, strong standing leg. And I just want to offer it. You take your arms wherever intuitively they would like to go, whatever it is. Be okay with it. Doesn't have to, I don't know, whatever shape you want to make them behind you. Classically. Yeah, that's beautiful. The intuition is never leads us astray. Whatever shape that you've taken, slowly begin to move out of it. Trying to keep your balance, of course, but don't worry, just tap the ground if you need to. And all I ask is when you're going to switch sides, I know you want to stand, please don't try to just stand still. Just be okay with standing still. You don't have to run the legs or anything. Maybe tiny movements and then shift, go on to the other side from stillness. Try it. Staying focused. Lovely. Lift the corners of your mouth. Slowly come back out of it. Find the ground under that right foot. Nice. Okay. Separate the legs up at the top of the mat. Just roll down as we exhale in a ragdoll into a tuck, dropping your bottom to calves to hamstrings. Whatever, it may look like this, it might be higher. Maybe it's a version of Malasan. Maybe it's a hug. And then just gently set your bottom down. Stretch out your right leg. Put your left leg over top. Tuck the left knee in with the left arm. And straighten up out of your seat. So you're nice and tall. Tuck the knee into the right elbow. And that traction will help ease into here too. I love it. Left hand behind for support. Again, progress into version of Marichyasana, this twist, the seated twist. I go gently because we are binding. It can make it up quite strong, so you don't want to over torque. You want to really feel that there's space for the muscles to move around, for the vertebrae and the discs to have space to be squeezed in a healthy manner, not pinched. And then we'll undo and uncross, goes right to the other side. So we don't counterpose by twisting. Now right leg comes up, left elbow takes it. You might even find this is one of my favorite ways to stay nice and forward facing and just very focused on creating some space in the right hip and buttock. Feels good. Right hand goes away behind and we'll start the twisting. Try to feel the breath everywhere, not pinched. And then undo and uncross. Bring the left one in. Keep the hands on the shins for a moment and lean back. Draw the chest up towards the chin. Open the soles of the feet towards one another. quite far and just fold over. So doming the back, letting go of the head and breathing. Ooh. Okay. Close up. Let's just scooch up to the top. And I forgot to say that you could use a block. If you have it, don't get off your mat now, please. But if you have it and it's accessible, get it. If you don't have it, so I won't use mine, let's just say. But if you have it, put it there. Let's bring the forearms down, thumbs on the inside. We've done this a lot. Fingers on the outside. Bring the legs together. Again, if you feel your lower back sinking onto your thumbs or your hands, that's a sure sign that you're dumping down there. So lift the spine, your lower back away from the mat. Plug your belly in to complement that. Bring the legs so shins parallel to the floor. Take a moment to address the the collarbones, spread them out. Take the left leg and move it halfway to the floor. Spread the toes when you get down there and keep the leg rolling inwards, if anything, not out, in. Come back up. Do it with the other side. Up, out, and down. So we're really plugging in those hip flexors and up. Okay. Separate the hands. Now let the lower back sink into the mat, followed by the mid and upper back, and then the head. Separate the legs, the knees, and bring them out to the side. Bring the hands somewhere on the inside of the shins, or take the shins inside of the legs, and just open them up evenly. Feeling nice and well oiled all through the hips and legs. And then we're going to go to happy baby. So keep the knees apart, but bring the shins now. So the feet above the knees. We're going to hold on to the ankles, or if you grab hold of the feet, bring those knees down, rolling maybe side to side. Use the upper back strength and chest strength to create more space in the groin at the first energy center. Stretch it out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So if you don't have your block, you're just going to go straight up like I am. If you have your block, put your feet down to support you and lifting and putting yourself on the block. Okay. If you're on your block and you have it, get your legs in that fashion so you neither have to hold them. Reversing that flow. It's gentle. Arms just come down by the sides. Feel the jaw slacken. Maybe closing the eyes feels good here. Okay, so if you're on the block, you can find the floor. And if you're like I am, no block, then just find the floor with the feet for a moment. And we're just gonna, on the floor, just stretch your legs out. Shavasana. If you're on the block, you're gonna get a little more opening for the front of your hips where the legs enter. Let's open both arms away from the body, pinky side looking in. If there's sensitivity in your lower back when you're on the block, adjust the block, usually a bit farther away, or get off it. Okay. So I'm just going to offer, if you are blockless, you can stay like this or do one last Apanasana and go back into this shape. if you're on your block, slowly bring your legs in, right? Bending them, and take yourself from the block down. And you may want to do Apanasana or go into, start creating Shavasana. Just really allowing now the silent cycles of breath, the inhalation and the exhalation, just move. Slowly bring that awareness back out. When you feel ready to move, you might want to move your fingers or your toes, whatever process you enjoy as you come out. Bring yourself to the side and up to sitting. And once up here, let's just lift the corners of the mouth. Perhaps offer an intention for your day, or an offer of gratitude. And just take a moment to fold over towards the ground. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing your practice.